Hello and welcome to Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design, our terror towers. I'm made of pure, unadulterated red celery. This is episode number 8, Moonshade Pool. I am the long name gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. This week, we talk about the new Destiny 2 DLC.
But before that, let's take a look at the news. And we have Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC, new Mario Kart is the worst of microtransactions, and 12 people make the most amazing Monster Hunter Iceborne cosplay. So,
Nice.
Let's start with our Red Dead 2 Redemption is coming to PC. I'm sorry. So, it's coming finally. Lucho, what do you think about it? Are you interested in it?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like I saw the news, and I'm mildly interested.
Mildly interesting. Yeah. Like, did you play GTA 5?
I didn't. I played the 4th and San Andreas.
All right.
I think.
Yeah. So you're okay with the franchise?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, but it's like I'm interested not because it's a GTA thing, but the setting sounds really interesting. Although I heard complaints about feeling kind of empty and like just a lot of downtime riding a horse.
Riding a horse. I heard about the same thing, but that supposedly that should be like the Western experience, the isolation in the wildness. So
fair enough, but there's.
I wondered. I think didn't they put like fast travel points? I hope they did, right?
Like the isolation thing, it depends if there's stuff like it feels dangerous, you know what I mean?
All right, yeah. If you have like animals and like anybody can jump you and that sort of stuff, right?
Not only that, but like let's say that in my mind,
yep,
what it's dangerous about that Western setting,
yeah,
is kind of surviving. So if the game had a survival element, then they'll make that desolation feel important. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if you have to carry out food or getting shelter or
something like that,
water.
like in the way.
Yeah. So in that sense, we'll make it more relevant for me, that isolation. If it is just empty because it is empty, it's a desert, but there's no threat out of that. It's kind of okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to see. Like, the only bad things that I've heard about the game really is that Red Dead Online is like bad things. But personally, I never engaged with like the online version of 5. So, and I enjoyed that game a lot. So I don't think it's going to be a problem for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hacking and like people just killing poor players and shit and stuff like that.
Yeah, I imagine, yeah. So it's coming in November 5th. And like, as usual with like PC releases of Rockstar games, I haven't seen like much fanfare to this.
Yeah.
Like, they already, I got the feeling that they already did their money and they're like, let's bring the PC players.
Let's just throw it in there, a little bit more of cash.
Yeah. The well started to dry, so they have money down there.
Yeah.
That's the feeling. That's the feeling every time Rockstar makes a game for PC, like a port, and they take forever. Like they take actually forever. I think yeah.
Go ahead.
I think for like an example for Bully, they take like 3 years to bring it into PC, something ridiculous like that.
Bully?
Like, yeah, it's an old, very famous Rockstar PC game from like the PlayStation 2 era, I think, something like that. And it's setting in a posh high school.
Oh, I played that game. That game is so good.
Yeah, you played that game. There you go.
Yeah.
But you actually playing on PC?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. And it took them 3 years to bring it to PC port.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that
that
game
game is
is
really good.
old. It's old and it's really good. Super controversial, by the way. They didn't do anything else with this franchise, but
Yeah, that's a good game.
yeah. So
I like that one.
they do very good games. They have like problems with like practices on the workplace. Rockstar has been in trouble for that in the presses. They had the problems of
I see.
online things, that their online releases, that their online offerings are like out of control and all over the place in terms of
Okay.
like monetization and in terms of like players exploiting players. And there's like this situation in GTA Online 5, where the economy is so out of whack that you can like the rich people are gonna stay rich forever, and the new players
Yeah.
will never get there.
Yeah.
And the only way to get there is actually like put real dollars and like a ridiculous amount of real dollars into the game,
I see. Yeah.
right? And like with Red Dead Redemption 2 have like a online have a problem with microtransaction, that sort of stuff. But hey, it's coming to PC. I would love to like experience it because I saw Red Dead Redemption 1 and I played with a friend I own a PlayStation 3, like I'm talking about like 6 years ago when it came out for PlayStation 3. And it was a really good game. Like I didn't play much. I played a couple of hours in my friend's PlayStation, but it feel like a really cool Western to experience. So, and people like are saying that this game is really good. And
Yeah,
so,
I was like
yeah.
when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out for consoles,
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that it was not ported to PC because it seemed really interesting.
But it's
I
ridiculous.
like that Western setting, so
I think the fastest one that they port to PC was GTA 3, I think. Or
maybe.
GTA 5. One of those was like super quick. It was like 6 months after, something like that. Right?
Yeah,
But
I always forget that Rockstar makes a lot of games that I like.
they're a great company.
Yeah.
But
I mean, LA Noir,
yeah,
Max
Noir.
Payne.
Yeah.
I like those games.
Yeah. They do cool games, but yeah, they don't have much
They
fanfare
don't
for
release
PC.
for PC as much.
Yeah,
I think that's the
exactly.
problem.
That's the problem. That's the thing. They don't care. They don't care about our PC players. We master race. They're and it's funny because as soon as they get into the PC market, their numbers grow like crazy. But apparently they don't care. They like. I think they like more the flashy releases on console and that sort of stuff. Like I got the feeling that they see the PC market as too quiet.
What are they talking about?
Like reception wise, that's what I'm talking about.
What are they talking about? Like the PC. I mean, yeah, probably the console market is larger than the PC one, for sure. But I don't know. Maybe it's because the games that I play that I feel like PC is more important.
Like I'm here speculating about what the marketing guys.
It may be. You may be right.
Right?
It will make sense. Like probably a console market is larger.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. It comes November 5. So maybe we'll check it out. We have the window there. I think there's nothing coming in that window particularly. And we're super interested.
We'll see.
So we will see. If we have the time to check it out. We'll try to check it out. I really like these games, but they always eat a lot of time. All right, our next docket is the new Mario Kart game for Nintendo, Mario Kart Tour, coming to a beta recently, and they have like very aggressive cell phone microtransaction, like very aggressive paywall thingies, man. And like,
is this a mobile game? No,
I think it is. Like it looks like a mobile game for all the screenshots that I've seen.
Oh yeah, it's not live for Android users in the US.
Yeah, there you go. So it's a mobile game, right? But they went like super deep into the mobile into the mobile microtransaction, like ridiculously deep to be Nintendo, right?
Yeah,
and it's weird because surprising. They didn't. Yeah, exactly. That's what everybody says as soon as they saw this news. Is like, it's Nintendo. What are you doing, Nintendo?
Yeah, you have your own console. Just keep doing that.
What are you doing here on consoles to begin with? And what are you doing doing these like insane microtransactions. So it has all the racers, you get them through microtransaction style like. So it's random racing that will give you. And you get them from like coins, which is the normal currency of the game. But you can get them from gems too. And it's just like a pipe that comes down and gives you a random racer.
Okay, you know what it sounds like?
What?
It sounds like a gacha game.
Yeah, it's exactly a gacha game. and
I'm not that surprised, honestly.
And then it has that, right? And then on top of that, it has stamina, right?
Yeah, like a gacha game.
When you have hearts and you can and when you race, your hearts get depleted, right?
Yeah.
So you cannot race anymore.
Like a gacha game.
Yeah, exactly. Like they did like super aggressive gacha game, and you can buy like random microtransaction for get more racers. You get like coins in the world that kind of give you some stuff, but not enough. And you can buy coins with like gems, which is the premium currency. And that's it. And everybody's like, yeah.
I'm not that surprised I went that
deep.
It's not that deep. It's like if you think like gacha games are really popular like in Japan and Asia.
Yes.
So, and it's Nintendo, so
you think that they just like forgot about the rest of the market and they decided like, oh, we're just gonna design it for Japanese gacha kind of game.
It could be designed for the Asian market, where like this gacha free to play are like super common.
Yeah, you have
and
to think,
that like just the fact that it has a lot of microtransactions doesn't mean that it's gonna be pay to win or something like that.
Okay.
Because I like you know that I play.
I know that you play. Yes.
I play one gacha game.
Yes.
And it's not pay to win. Like you just have to grind a lot. And
of course.
So, like, I will defend Nintendo. I will say it doesn't have to be pay to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can have a lot of grind behind getting the things.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's apparently kind of expected.
The thing is like when I'm said like the problem with this industry is like personal gripe of the majority of critics of this industry is that the more we let them get away with like insane monetization schemes, the worse they get. Right? So
sure.
I don't.
But what I'm saying,
I don't feel
comfortable. What I'm saying is that from what you're describing, doesn't sound that out of like that's what happens now with mobile games in Asia.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying.
I understand. Yes, I understand that. But me personally, as a game designer and a person who like loves this industry, I'm not comfortable like defending any kind of microtransaction in like any shape, way, or form. Right?
Yeah.
You don't care, but I do.
I'm a grown man. So I know when to spend money.
That is my personal position, right? That is my personal position because they've been doing like horrible stuff because of like people don't bat an eye to this stuff. Like the controversy of the news is that Nintendo is doing it. They don't have a single controversy microtransaction game under their belt, right? That's the thing, right?
Yeah, I guess. I really don't take them above anyone else, so.
And like, I was like, yeah, Nintendo, you're the last beacon of hope, and then you...
Oh, no, you shouldn't hold them up to any standard. Why?
Because you should have like self-respect for an industry, which is it's clear that they don't need to do all these microtransactions, right? They just like in terms of production, in terms of quality of content, in terms of like how they just do it because they like make a lot more money.
Yeah, but what is wrong with trying to tap into that Asian free-to-play market that apparently has a fuck ton of money?
Okay, it's a difficult discussion, I guess.
It is. It's not that black and white.
Difficult discussion. Yeah.
Like you're trying to paint it like super black and white, and I don't think it is that black and white.
Yeah.
And I'm not that
Anyways,
surprised. I play gacha games.
all
It's
right,
gonna be a
fair enough,
gacha game.
fair
I'm cool
enough,
with
fair
that.
enough. Yeah.
And I'm
So
gonna be
super
controller.
crazy.
I don't like Mario that much.
I'm against it. Like I'm against it, especially because like there's a lot of kids who would want to play this kind of game, and kids don't have that
Don't these
reason
games
that
have like
adults have.
parental protections and stuff like that?
No. It's clearly marketed for kids, as every Nintendo
Yeah,
franchise
no.
is.
That's sure, but like don't phones have like parental protection, so you cannot put just your parents' credit card and
Yeah,
go
but
to town.
yes, that is true, right? But not everybody does it. And if you're a busy parent, like quote unquote, or if you give, or if you think your kid is ready for like kind of like independent in his phone, this might be a trap, right? Clearly,
No,
in
they're
this day and
not because
age,
they're
like
kids.
yeah, parents have to be like so much vigilant, but like
That's what having kids entices.
don't have kids, right?
Yeah.
I think the moral of the story is don't have kids.
Yeah.
Or if you're
Don't
gonna
have
have
kids
kids, or if
And
you're
if
gonna
games
have
have
kids,
microtransactions, you don't have to buy the shit that they sell you.
yeah. Or if you're gonna have kids, please be smart and informed about everything. Don't let your kids do whatever they want.
Be a
Anyways,
freaking grown up and don't spend your money. This is not that.
All right.
Like, you don't have to make click in any buy button that appears on your phone. That's all I'm saying.
All right, fair enough. And for our last news, if you're watching us on video, this is just amazing, man. It's just amazing. They did a Monster Hunter World Iceborne cosplay that took 12 people to build, and it looks just insane. And the character is the Grammeowster chef, which is the lady in the new town that serves you the food before you go hunting.
Yeah.
And it looks like amazing, and he's such a like detailed character that
It looks super good. Yeah.
that like is insane to make. Like insane to make because like every single detail, the pouches, the way he's dressed, like the shape of the character. They even had a cat on the videos just to make it like more beautiful. Anyways, they even build the spoon that she uses with. So it's just like crazy people doing crazy stuff, right? That's a crazy level of cosplay.
It is a crazy level of cosplay, but if you want to look for crazy cosplay, search for the Adam Savage YouTube channel. He has crazy cosplay. Like really crazy stuff. It's amazing.
But
he attends all the how is it called? San Francisco, San Diego Comic Con.
Yep.
And he tries to go incognito, cosplaying.
Wow.
And he challenges through Twitter like his followers to find him.
Yeah. Let's complain.
It's very cool.
That's cool.
And he posts the videos of he walking the floor in his like actually amazing and insane cosplays. Like I'm saying this is less than that. I'm just saying if you're interested in cosplaying and like kind of DIY stuff, like his channel is just mind blowing.
This is a lot of like insane stuff to do, man.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Is there like just like pride and accomplishment to do this, or like is there like prizes for cosplay? I heard there is a bunch there's like a big scene when they like have like a bunch of comps and they get like prizes for doing very good cosplays.
Yeah, I guess professional cosplayers like they also get paid just to attend like events. So I don't know, like for example, TennoCon has
professional cosplayers. Yeah.
Professional cosplayers like cosplaying as the things that actually the pays for the costumes and stuff.
I just remember Magic the Gathering have like professional cosplayers for like releases, and they generally like pay them to go cosplay and do like kind of PR stuff in releases and that sort of stuff in events.
So I assume that if you get to be like well known in the cosplaying community,
you actually
like
get
you
like
can start landing
some sort of payment and that sort of stuff for PR and like
Like I'll assume that in all those conventions, E3 and stuff like that, like the companies will actually pay cosplayers to do the cosplays and be there taking photos and doing PR.
It's
Yes,
like a
sounds
weird,
personal.
it's like a weird interesting it's like a weird interesting industry, because I imagine that some of those cosplayers, like if you think about back in the day, like every cosplay that you did was like pretty rudimentary. Now that you have more access to like 3D print and that sort of stuff, it becomes like a more easy access things to do. But it's still like I can imagine like a very good cosplayer getting like job in like Hollywood doing some sort of like
but I will still assume that most cosplayers still do it like with few resources.
for the love of the
Like
game.
I will assume that's like most of the community, and there are just like a few people who actually like get to live out of that. And for most people, it's like their hobby, and they just do it for the love of doing it, I guess.
Yeah. It's like
But
cosplay.
it's insane.
Have you ever cosplayed?
No, I don't like dressing up.
All right, fair enough.
But I really appreciate the DIY part of the process.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't cosplay, but I would definitely like make a thing, you know?
Yeah. Make an object for it.
Yeah. Actually, I think I show you.
Yeah, the pistol.
I 3D printed a Destiny 2 hand cannon.
Yeah, the Destiny 2 hand cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoy like building the thing.
Yeah.
Things like that, like printing it and then putting it together, like painting it,
and that
doing
sort
all
of
the things.
that process.
I like that.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I wouldn't cosplay.
There's nothing more satisfying than like building a thingy.
That is true. I agree. Like with your own hands.
Yeah, with your own hands. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that feeling, and that's the thing that I like about cosplay. It's just like not the dressing up or like portraying the characters, but just the building part of the craft. Like it's just.
And like cool. I was talking with a friend to go like there's gonna be like the convention here, the similar convention to Comic-Con or whatever, the SOFA, and we were like thinking about going into cosplay as the muses from Hercules. Oh, because we have like we're like this bunch of friends and we're all like kind of different sizes. And we'll have a very tall friend, and then the next one is a little less tall, and then the next one is a little less taller, and then I'm the smallest one of all. And like we can go as the muses, as the six muses with like, and we have a lady to do the we have an Hercules and a lady, so it would be like
that's very cool. That sounds like a cool idea.
Fun. Yeah, fun to do. Just for the fun. You just like.
I'll assume that that's what most people do. Just like do it with friends and like
and having fun with it and like
just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't think most people are making a career out of that.
Yeah, nah. Well, casual cosplay, no.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is like you can make a career of cosplaying apparently.
Oh yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, that's the interesting. All right, that's our news for the week.
Yeah.
So, before we begin with our deep dive of the week, we come with a disclaimer. Remember, kids, people, everybody that hear us around the world, wherever you are.
Listeners.
The discussion here is based on our own opinions and our in-game experience. We are not game journalists. We check some stuff to make our facts are kind of correct, but we are not aiming to like be super deep in the thing and become like professional game journalists. But if you wanted to invite us to your I don't know, convention or something like that, feel free.
Yeah, of course.
We will interview somebody.
We'll go.
We can go there. No worries. We'll make content. Anyway, so the dive is Destiny 2 Shadowkeep first impressions.
Yeah, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep just came out last weekend.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah. It's fresh out of the oven.
It's Tuesday, 1st of October, Shadowkeep. With that, it came the new light system, which became like free to play.
Yeah.
Destiny, free to play. Now we have free to play Destiny, one more free to play in the market.
fresh to play.
Fresh to play, to be exact. So let's start with that. New light experience is different free to play. So I don't know if you have checked some of the videos of what is the new light experience.
No.
No. So
What would you expect?
I
I don't
will,
like this game.
I know, but you still play like once in a while and like stuff and things. And anyway, so the new light experience is kind of like the beginning of Destiny 1, as I understand it. That you start in the Cosmodrome, which is an area out just outside the walls of the city, and they just like wake you up, right? Because you remember in Destiny 2, you just are a guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they changed the beginning
Yeah.
of the game.
Yes.
Okay.
They did.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they did. So they just wake you up as a
Okay.
new resurrected corpse, which you are, right? A guardian. Right? And they just wake you up,
Okay.
and there is a tutorial scene like around the Cosmodrome, and the tutorial like at the beginning of Destiny 2, you pick up the weapon, you use your abilities, blah blah blah. And the quest line is like you fight Fallen, and the quest line is getting to the ship. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you finish that tutorial, get to a ship, and straight into the tower with everything unlocked. So you have all the trees, all your abilities, and your 750.
You don't have to unlock anything anymore. Okay.
No. It's just straight to the game.
That's kind of a shame.
You miss the slow burn of the making the quest line to unlock slowly.
Not only that, but like the fact that you have all the trees unlocked.
Except if you don't have Forsaken, you don't have the middle one.
Yeah, sure, but the other two, they're completely unlocked.
Yeah, everything. Solar.
That could have been like a missed opportunity to just do something fun for the unlocking. Yeah. I don't know.
Clearly, they unlock it slowly in the tutorial.
Yeah, but it's still the tutorial. I'm pretty sure it's pretty short. It's not.
Yeah. The Cosmodrome. Yeah, it's like I think it takes you like half an hour, something like that. Go through the tutorial, like have 45 minutes going through the tutorial, through the quest line, pick up the gun, kill stuff, kill mobs, learn how to move, your abilities, jump, like kind of the same length that Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 vanilla campaign.
Yeah, no, but all I'm saying like is I'm just saying that like a small quest line to unlock the different trees where they kind of show you like each one of the trees has some lore attached to it.
Yes.
That you can read.
Yes, that's the thing that misses the most. Like in the veteran players, the criticism of this new light system is that the way that you unlock the trees in the vanilla campaign, they give you lore of the trees. You remember that when you go to the shard and that is missed. I remember that. That for sure is missed.
That's what I'm saying. That was cool. And it was like a missed opportunity to just present to a player some of the lore about their own character, actually.
Yeah. So and then you're straight into a tower, and then you go and speak with Zavala, and Zavala is like, "Oh, we have a new walking corpse. Sorry, we have a new guardian. This is the traveler. It gives you the light and like kind of introduce you to the concepts, and then you go and speak with Ikora. And the thing is, like, they don't unlock all the locations for you.
Okay.
So everything is locked. All the locations, Moon, Jupiter, Titan, everything is locked except for Earth, right? Because it's where you start. You start in the Cosmodrome, which is a location on Earth, right? And then Ikora says, "All right, welcome, Guardian. You're new. This is your job. Go and help people." And then they give you a quest line to go Earth and do stuff. So you go and like do kind of like the first mission of the World War when you go to the EDC and help with like a rescue and go into and like chase some fallen and then bring back like some. It is the mission of the radio that you're reestablishing for the guy that lives in the EDCs for Devon Kane. Is that mission?
Yep.
Like the second mission that you do in the Red War after you come out of the farm, when you go back to Earth, right? And then you're set up, and the planets will unlock with XP, right? So you start in the Earth, and you do the mission there, blah blah blah. And by the end of the mission, you should have enough XP to unlock Titan, which is the next one.
So
And
you
then
don't
they
have
say you go.
levels anymore.
No, you just have
Okay.
plain XP. You start at 750.
Yeah, I
Everything
saw
that
it.
it's
Okay.
given. Yeah. And the XP is now for the season pass if you have it. For the season pass, for the season rewards that everybody has, the normal ones, and for unlocking the plans, right? And you can jump straight into it. Like the second mission that the Zavala gives you is go and do a strike, right?
Okay.
And they give you and they try to matchmake you with new players, and they give you like a very basic strike, the Rift strike, which is the one of the Red War, when you go there and you pick up like a solar thing and you take it to a place, and there's like some Cabal ships going around, like one of the very first strike, and kind of like tutorialize what a strike is like and blah blah blah, and then you keep unlocking the plans. The other way to do it is Zavala has the actual quest lines, right?
Oh, okay.
Which is the weird thing, right? Because you go speak with him. Isabella or Ikora? No, Ikora has the quest line. Sorry, Ikora has the quest line. So you go and speak to her, and she has like Red War, Warmine, and Osiris, right? Which are the 3 free quest lines. So if you pick Red War, you get the big icon on the tower, and then you click on the icon, and then he matchmake you, and then you start a classic vanilla quest line.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
That's fine.
And if you do that, like if you decide, I'm going to experience the vanilla quest line of Destiny 2, you unlock the planets not for your XP, but for your progress in the quest.
Okay, fair, yeah.
As naturally as you like. Of course, it's really weird for a new player, because if you get into a tower and say, I want to like experience the Destiny vanilla, you get through the same tutorial mission.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay, got it. That's fine. It's not bad.
Super Jar is weird because they teach you again thing, and then you can go and do the shard. So if you go to the quest line, they actually remove your powers.
Oh yeah.
And then you experience the shard thing, and then they give you the lore, and then you regain your powers again straight away after that mission. Is like super weird.
No, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, but you can like experience like that classic vanilla is there for free for you to experience all the entire quest line till the end, till you kill Gary.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know in terms of time what is easier to like unlock the planets through the experience system, or unlocking them through the quest. I think my theory is that it would be like so much easier to do it through the quest, because you move a lot faster in the quest, that you gain experience in the game, right? If you think about it, the biggest experience givers in the game are not the mobs that you kill, but are the bounties that you complete.
Probably.
Yeah. So if you don't want to go into the EDC and make a billion bounties and things to unlock the next Titan, I think it's easier for you to go and just do the quest line. But if you think about it, like the quest line is kind of long too.
It is kind of long, yeah.
It is. So it's like they're trying to appeal to both players. If you want to do a second character, but you're already a veteran player, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience, right? Just like
that's good. Yeah.
Right? And because you're a veteran player, you have all the expansions, so all the locations are open.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it's super
that makes
easy,
sense.
right? But if you're a new player and you're like, I want the like genuine vanilla Destiny 2 experience, you just go do the Red War, and then you unlock naturally.
More than that is just if you're a new player, it's worth doing the older campaigns because they're content.
Yeah, they're content and free content, right?
Yeah.
So you get that and you unlock them, and then at the end of that campaign, Mars is still locked because that's Warmine.
Yeah.
So you can go and do Warmine straight away, right? Or Osiris, whatever you want to do first. And those open those locations, right? But the weird thing is, like, if you finish the storyline of the Red War and you have enough experience, you already have those locations unlocked.
I don't find it that weird. It just they're just giving you options. Like they give you 2 different paths of unlocking stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's player agency.
Preference.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So, and the way they explain it is like they don't want to overwhelm new players with all the locations unlocked straight away of the gate, which makes a ton of
I
sense.
completely agree.
Makes a ton of sense. And that is what is available for free in Destiny 2 New Light. So the 3 first campaign, Red War, Osiris Warmind, all the exotics from year 1 are available, and exotics from year 2 are available for drops in the war. Right?
Nice. It's a lot of content for free if you think about it.
Yeah. And then after that, if you want to purchase Forsaken brings the campaign of Forsaken in, and you can access the Dreaming City even if you don't have Forsaken. That's the interesting part. You can go to the well, you can do well things even if you don't have Forsaken. So you have that location. The same with the moon. You have the moon location and activities even if you don't have Shadowkeep. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can access.
That's pretty cool because they're only locking the quests and things.
Yes, and the quests and
but you can still go. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you can still go and you can still go and visit the locations.
That's fine.
All the game. That's the point, right? The only thing locked behind bars are the location, the quest lines and the legendary quest lines. So the quest lines that give you exotics and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
That you have to pay. Like those that are tied to the content. Right?
I see.
So there's some legendary quests, for example, the one that we were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
That's tied to Shadowkeep. So if you don't have Shadowkeep, you cannot do that quest. They give it to you, but you cannot advance it.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And that's what is behind the content. The same with like the blacks, the
Black Armory.
The Black Armory or the exotic for the quest lines. She had like 3 exotics for the quest lines. Those are locked between the seasonal passes. So you can either like buy Forsaken, and Forsaken has buy a version of Forsaken, and Forsaken has all the year 2 content on it, or you can just buy individual seasons. So I just wanna have the exotics from Gambit, so I'm just gonna buy Gambit.
Oh, I see.
Right? Or you can buy only the season content, right?
How much do they charge for a season?
Like $5, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And for Forsaken with all the seasons, is $25.
So is it cheaper to buy Forsaken than each season?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know how many seasons are or whatever. Like.
Yeah. Inside Forsaken, there is like the season of the season of the Drifter, the season of Forsaken started with Forsaken, and then it came with the season of the Black Armory.
Okay.
Yeah, the season of the Forge, and then after that, it was the season of the Drifter, the Gambit, and then after that came Opulence, season of Opulence, which is what is the name? I forgot. The activity.
The Menagerie.
The Menagerie. Thank you. Which comes with the Menagerie. So all those are considered like seasonal content, right? And then they sell you Forsaken at like face value, which is $40 right now. No,
Forsaken?
$30. Sorry, Shadowkeep $30. And if you want all the seasons of this year, so till next year, February, I think it ends. The next year, something like that. Anyways, year-long content till like October of next year, then it'll be like $45 to buy per second. So if you want everything on Destiny 2, it will cost you quick addition like $80 to get everything, like all the old seasons, all the old content in Shadowkeep, and all the next year content.
Okay.
So that's like, and if you think about it, how much money we have expended, this game is like super good for new players.
That made me think about it because it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
So if you're a good player and you have the $80 and you want to like experience everything that Destiny, you really love the game, you like the Red War campaigns and the Warmind campaigns.
If you really love the game, you are wrong. It's a bad game.
People
for whatever reason You have $80 just to burn down.
Yes, do it. But I will personally. What purchase do you personally recommend? I will personally recommend just purchasing Forsaken.
I wouldn't recommend anything. Go
Sorry,
play the free
Shadowkeep.
game, see if you like it,
Yeah, see if you like it. Yeah, see if you like it.
and
If you
then
like
make a
it,
decision out of that.
yeah, if you like it, I will probably recommend you. And if you like it, if you don't have that much money and you want to purchase some content, I'll probably tell you to purchase Shadowkeep so you can enjoy like all the new content that is coming out.
Yeah, the most recent one. Yeah,
The
for
most
sure.
recent one. And then in the
Yeah.
future, if you have a little bit more money to burn down, then you can purchase Forsaken.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone to buy anything. The game is free. It has a good chunk of content for free. So
Yeah.
download the game, play the free content, and then decide if it's gonna be for you.
Yeah, it's a year worth of content, so it's good value for you.
Yeah, no, like the campaign, like the 3 campaigns are fairly long, and there are a lot of things to do. So
yeah, so in that sense, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, but don't make me think about how much money did I pay, because whatever the number is, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely agree with that. It was ridiculous. Like, not even talking about. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
So the first thing, Armor 2.0 come out, and I think the UI needed like some changes.
Yeah, they changed the armor number thingies.
Yeah.
But the UI stayed the same or almost the same.
Yes.
It didn't keep up with the changes, which it's a mistake or an oversight, or I don't know how to call it.
Yeah, it's like you have the thing is like,
yeah, but let's explain what we mean by that.
Yeah. We were talking about like the interface of Destiny High Wars. They did cool changes into like managing and we're talking like punctually about the quest and bounties interface, which the change was very good.
Yeah,
like they separated. Now there's very clear what is pertaining to pure quest and what is pertaining to bounties. In the past, you have everything in one screen. It was like a problem because
that's really good.
Yeah,
because now it's a little bit easier to see what are bounties, what are quests. That's
and what are you
really
chasing in the moment, and what are you exactly are you doing? You like you lose less time like trying to figure out what are you doing in the game.
You lose less time going through menus.
Yeah, you lose less time going through menu. The season menu is very good. It's very intuitive. When the prices are you just click the prices, and there's some prices that you just like get automatically.
That's pretty standard.
And the rest of the UI kept the same, right? But we're talking about punctually about the gear UI, the first UI that you see when you open your character sheet, right? And the problem that we have is like, yes, they expanded the armor system to make it more in deep, but they didn't change the UI to service that system.
Yeah, so one of the changes that they made is that now the armor has, before it only had like resilience, mobility, and
recovery.
Yes. Now it has another 3 stats.
Intelligence, strength,
something, and other thing.
Yeah.
So basically now each armor piece has 6 stats.
Yes.
And like they display the total amount that the stats add up to.
Yes.
Like right next to where the pieces are shown.
Yeah.
But my complaint with that is that you don't. It's the same complaint as before. I probably mentioned this before. Is that you don't see how much each piece of armor is
contributing.
Is giving to a total. Is contributing to a total number. So it makes it really hard. Like if at some point, like my guess is if they're showing the total of these stats. Is because they think that's going to be an important thing, like an important information to keep in mind when you're doing builds, I guess. But then when you're trying to
gear.
When you're picking up gear, when you're selecting, you're paying attention to how those numbers change. I guess that's going to be important.
Yeah.
But then the problem is that whenever you're swapping pieces, it's really hard to see how things change.
Correct.
So that's like it's the same complaint as before. For me, there is no enough information on the UI. And now that they increase the number of stats that each piece has, it's showing you even less information than before.
Yeah. So the thing is like, I imagine that in the past when that UI was like formally created, it was servicing a very simplistic system, right? The only thing that you want to see is like how cool my pieces look, and then you have like 3 stats, right? And you are interested in one of those stats being high, and if you want to like be more granular about it, you just enter the piece, right? Because the only thing that you care about the piece in the past was what light level had and what abilities had inside it, right? But most of all, what light level had, right? And because the system was very simplistic, that UI was serviceable, right? To a point, because you don't need to compare that much in that sense, right? You don't need to compare that many stats, right? You don't need to be so granular about it.
Not with the stats. I would still argue that it is important to show in a more accessible way the abilities that each piece of armor has.
Yeah.
Because you still have to hover over everything and compare the abilities and remember.
Yes.
I would argue that, but okay.
Yeah, so that was the original design of the UI, which is serviceable, right? And they show you the model and how the model changes with every piece of gear that you put, which is like the aesthetics part of it. But now that you have so many stats and you want players to look at how many stats in what pieces do I have for what thing that I'm chasing at, and what is the energy of the piece of armor, because the energy of the piece of armor determines what mods can I put inside the armor, right? And for example, if a piece of armor is solar, you cannot have mods for hand cannons and bows, because those modes only fits into void.
Oh, right? Really?
Yes.
That sounds really stupid.
That's the new mod system.
Because that sounds really stupid.
Because now you can just like change abilities, right? You can like put any mods that you want, right? Now they change it, like the modes have certain affinity to certain elements.
Oh, that sounds annoying. Okay.
Yeah. So you are chasing for 2 things: good stats, in a good stats where you want them in a piece of armor, and it has the correct element. Right?
Okay.
So if you want to have, and I'm gonna give you an example. If you want to have a warlock build where you want your melee up all the time, because if you kill something with melee, and this affects melee damage too, the strength stat, you get free grenades. Right? That's what you want to do. That is your ideal build, right? So if I just want to do that, it's easy. I just find the pieces that I have that has more strength stat, and that's it. Like, my build is ready, right? But if you on top of that want to play certain weapons with that, so you like hand cannons and you like submachine guns, and then you don't like you don't like rocket launcher, but you like grenade launchers, right? And you want mods that helps you with those weapons, then you have to start thinking about not only that it has high strength, but it has certain element, is solar, so I can put mods that helps my weapon, right? So that's the decision point. But all that information is really difficult to navigate through the UI that they're using right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, as I said before, in my opinion, that they need to show more information on that screen.
And they don't need, like, they have this huge space that we discussed about it, and it's the model. You don't need the model. You don't need the model. You don't need to see the model in this screen, right? Because you have an entire screen that is called appearance.
Yeah.
When it actually show you how your model looks and the cosmetics that you can put on it. So it's just like, why do you have the model in both screens? Why?
Even if for whatever reason you wanna keep it on both, like the one where you're showing the stats, you can make the models smaller,
or put it somewhere else, or
just
like
you
have to
use
prioritize
all that real estate to show actual useful stuff.
Yes, because you can imagine when you have to go through like every slot can contain 9 pieces of gear,
Yeah, and
right?
you have to remember the elements and the mods and the
And the
stats of
stats
each
and
one of the
everything
knives.
else is gonna be insane. It's gonna be
And
insane.
there's like even a simple thing like hovering or a piece of equipment that you don't have equipped and showing a comparison with the actual equipped one would help a lot.
Yeah, they have a compare button.
Yeah, but it's a compare button. Like
Yeah.
it's not the same.
It's not automatic. It's not like
Yeah.
the way that it should be is like you hover over a piece and they shows you the comparison straight away.
Yeah.
Like Diablo 3. I came
Yeah.
off like so long ago.
I know.
We does this
It just
automatically
it's a
every
simple
time.
thing. Yeah.
Every time you pick up, you hover over a piece of loot, any piece of loot, yellow, red, legendary, doesn't matter. It show you the comparisons
And you know
straight
what?
away.
They show you colors.
They show you color.
is
Red,
worse.
yeah,
Green is better.
Good.
Smart.
Smart, just like the meme.
Because color coding.
Because color coding is like the most basic thing that you can do. Right?
Yeah.
Anyways. So
yeah, but those are the small things that we're saying.
Yeah, they
are missing.
Yeah, are missing from it. Like I think the change of the armor overall is good for building diversity. Like they're stretching more the system of what can you do and when can you do, and like kind of taking to streams. Right now we haven't seen this because right now everybody is on the light hunt mode.
Yeah.
Which they just want to chase this number to 950, right? Because the rest of the gear under that doesn't matter. Right? And right now it feels a lot more because they're giving you a lot more of drops that they used to. They bump the amount of blues and legendaries that you get randomly in the world, and they put more prime, which are upgrades in the world. So you're gonna get to this point with the current loot, the current drop rate, where you're just getting like a lot of loot all the time in 750. So nobody's right now is worrying about about keeping gear.
Oh yeah, no. What you're saying is that this is a quality of life thing. If you're interested in doing builds,
Actually,
paying attention to the stats and like trying to optimize your build, and which I guess is a thing. Like I'm pretty sure that's a thing in the Destiny 2 community.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like for example, since I've been playing Destiny 2, I have this obsession. Like since I started playing Destiny 2, I have this obsession with I want to do this build, a warlock build, when you get like virtually infinite grenades, like virtually spamming grenades, right? And the old system didn't quite let me do that because my melee damage had like a point where it wasn't like one-shotting things. And there was not a good way for me to affect that damage, right? First, because light level has a cap. Right now, it does not anymore. It does not have a cap anymore, and there's no way that I can affect the melee damage of my character directly, right? So those were my ceilings when I was trying to do this build, right? I just want to like go melee something that it dies, and then I have infinite grenades for 6 seconds, right? And then I just want to repeat that process. Melee something, and they damage for 6 seconds. Clearly, this build is not going to be very usable on bosses, but in generally, the majority of bosses in Destiny 2 spawn ads.
Yeah, it's like a mob clearing.
Yeah, spawn ads. So it's that. So in the old system, there was no way for me to get to the breakpoint. Like the build will fall apart in a lot of cases, right? Right now, with the new system, I've seen it. I have a way to directly affect the strength of my character, and that makes my melee very, very powerful, right? And my recharge rate on my melee, so I can have it up all the time, so I can activate my grenades, etc., etc. And on top of that, my light level is no longer capped with the new artifact. Once you reach the 950 cap on your gear, the artifact and your experience that you gain, it keeps giving you more light levels and more light levels, and that will reset at the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah. So my damage will keep going up. So I can take that build that I want to do and take it in the majority, like through enough work, I can actually make it reality in like high level content. Right.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted. Like that's the kind of thing that a good game in terms of build can do. Like when you have this concept and you can realize it to his full extreme, that's one of satisfying. That's one of the most satisfying things for people who wants to do build and explore that system on the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Right? So that's good for the new armor system. But we still have to see, because we are still in that a honeymoon period when we're just like chasing numbers and doing
What
something
honeymoon?
else. That's how they generally refer to like new releases.
Still a bad game.
I know, Lucho.
There's no honeymoon.
I know you don't like it. Anyways, so that's anything else to add for the UI changes? You would like to change something else about it?
Yeah, they did put on the destination screen.
Yep.
They put some of the like some markers for important things.
Yeah, the green markers, right?
Yeah, you know, yeah. You know what I would like to see?
Yes.
And maybe this will be like too much information, but like for example, I have a lot of quests in my quest log thing.
Yeah.
So I would like to see, and it's kind of annoying that I have to go to a thing and read it and try to figure out where do I have to go. And I would like to, I don't know, be able to, for example, horror the planet.
Yeah.
And that it opens a little screen that tells me which quests are on that planet.
All right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get it.
So it makes it easier for me. Like if I'm doing one quest, I can see where do I have to go without.
Right now that system is weird, because if it's a main quest, apparently if it's like an easy step, kind of like go and talk to X or go and do certain activity, they show it to you through a green marker, right? Once you have selected the quest to track it.
Yeah.
Right? But some quests which requires obscure steps, right? Like go and look for X and there is a riddle. And then like the majority of the exotic quests, which is kind of a riddle, and you have to discover.
But they could.
They don't show you that because supposedly they expect the players to like figure it out.
But they can point me out to a planet, and I can just go to a planet and figure out there.
I guess that would be like the basics, like give you that extra clue of the location when you.
That's all I want. I just want to know. Like I actually just want to know how many quests do I have in a planet. Because I like what I like is, for example, going to one of the locations
and do everything there
and clear that location.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that would be super.
I have 10 steps of 10 different quests. Maybe they don't like tell me the location if it is a riddle or something.
Yeah.
But I know that I have something to do here.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out on my own, but at least I know how many things do I have to clear on this location.
Yeah. Maybe they can do it. They can do it with like a clickable. If you right click on the planet, or you press some other key on the planet, so it doesn't like like straight away throw it to you in the face when you hover over the planets.
Options. You hover, you click, you press something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can see that. That would be sweet. Yeah, I will agree with that. That would be amazing. That would be like, oh, I have to do X, Y, and Z in this planet.
Yeah, and then you can plan your session for for being on that part of the world.
And like clear it, and I agree with that. That's a cool suggestion. Yeah,
because clearing objectives is satisfying.
Yes, doing stuff is satisfying.
Not only doing it, but like
clearing.
The actual having a list and clearing it up.
Yeah,
is really satisfying.
Really satisfying. Yeah,
for a lot of people, they just check like crossing things from a to-do list.
It's because it gives you that sense of progression.
It does, and the current system, I feel like, fails a little bit on that.
It doesn't give you that sense of progression. All right.
It's just it has to give you a feeling of I'm doing shit.
Yeah, I'm progressing in the world. I'm moving towards something.
Yeah. Even if it is the same system, just the way that it's presented
helps.
Is the feeling.
Yes.
It's just a lot of things with video games. It's just how it feels.
It comes from the gut.
It does. Because
yes.
It does, because we are not machines playing video games.
Yes,
we are
that's
people.
Correct. We are people. That's absolutely right. All right, so that's
I'm not investing money. I'm playing a video game and I do it with my gut.
I want the video game to like me and give me
Yeah.
kisses.
Hug me.
Yeah, and say me, tell to me you're doing right.
Yeah.
Anyways, that crazy tangent. A kind of criticisms overall in Destiny 2. Yeah, no one likes to wait. Destiny 2.
Yeah.
No one likes to wait.
They haven't figured out that waiting for stuff to appear is super boring.
It's the most boring thing, and it kills the pace of the game. And this game is on all the time. Like when you are in questline, like the big percentage of the time, you're killing stuff, moving to locations, killing stuff, moving to X or Y, killing stuff, moving blah blah blah. And that's when Destiny 2 shines. When you are moving to places, doing shit, and killing a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, I agree. We were talking about this yesterday, and I was saying that for me, the only good part of the game is shooting things. But the activities that I enjoy are the ones where I'm only shooting stuff.
Yes.
So I like things like the menagerie. I like things like the new Vex invasion.
Yeah. We were talking about. We were gonna talk about it in a minute, but no one likes to wait, and this happens
but
with
to a point
public
is,
events.
Yeah.
And this happened now with the Vex invasions, which were very cool. Like the first time that I experienced it, and it was very funny because I entered the game and it was like, oh, these cinematic Vex are activated. Something is happening. The moon is invading. And I was like, oh, this looks super interesting. I land on the moon. I like drive to the clearest, like the next playable area. And I have this quest for go and help because the Vex are invading. And then as soon as I get there, there's like this ginormous portal in the sky and dropping like tons of enemies everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? There's like a bunch of players and then you kill players and then the next portal spawn and then the next portal spawn and then I did the quest easily and then I help and I feel accomplished and then I went out and do something else, right? That was my experience. And then Lucho comes in. And then Lucho comes in and is like, and I tell him, oh man, look, there's like this new Vex invasion stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then we land on the moon and like, you're going to see all these crazy portals appear. And then we go to the next location. There's nothing.
There was nothing.
Nobody. Silent. And he's like, but I entered. And then there was like these portals. And it was so cool. And Lucho was like, really? And this absolutely ruined the experience. Absolutely ruined. Absolutely ruined. Look, if you're going to do an invasion like portal kind of stuff, have it in a high rotation, dude. Right? I think they put what they say is like they have the event appearing on a zone in the map, but there's always a zone on, right? Right?
There always should be something
on, right? And then we split to the point that we split in two zones. And it took like 10 minutes for one zone to actually spawn.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like, why it takes 10 minutes for a rotation? And then maybe somebody else on the other point of the planet was actually doing it in the one that we're not in.
But it was impossible because you can see the invasions from far away.
Yeah, exactly. You can see that, and we were like driving around, and like, man, if you're gonna do that, at least have the courtesy of what the public event does, right? When they actually put a marker where it's happening, right?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, you need a public event. You just go to the map and see the marker, and it's like, oh, there's one there, and then you just drive there.
I wouldn't even argue that if this is allegedly like, oh, it's an invasion.
Yeah.
It should feel like, oh, it's happening all the time. So
yeah, everywhere.
So you see, they're coming all the time, everywhere. So it feels dangerous.
Yeah,
but right now it's like you have to wait for like 10 minutes, and then it appears, and
then you have a fail state, right? Yeah. Which makes sense. Like the fail state makes sense in the way that you are. If the event will have a faster rotation and expand everywhere on the zones that they indicate to you, then it will make sense that fail state, right? Because simply the portal opens, things spawn into the world, right? If nobody kills them, then they despawn.
Yeah,
right?
and they move on.
And then move on. And this happens everywhere, right? And there is no problem. If there is a player that which is not interesting, it doesn't matter because it gives that sense of aliveness in the world, like that sense of a dynamicness that you're going from another quest, for example. The Vex invasion is on, and I know that this causes like heavy charges into the servers, like having these kind of things on all the time. But what you can do to actually fix that is having windows when the Vex invasion is on and actually notify, right? For example, and I'll give you an example.
I don't like that because that's time gating, and that's also kind of.
But I will explain you the rotation. Like if the Vex invasions are this week, for example, right, as an event, right, like Iron Banner and so many events that the game has, which are week long, right? You have invasions like for an hour, and then you give like half an hour cooldown, and then another hour.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like that.
You don't like kind of like.
No.
It's because
that's time gating.
I'm thinking about like the technical stuff when you cannot have these events on all the time because you created like a lot of burden into the servers to spawn all these units all the time, right? That's a technical issue that they could run on, right?
Maybe
that's the only thing that I can think about that can be a problem, right? But if you can do it, if you can have like server instances where these invasions are on all the time in all the zones, that would be perfect, right? Because you go and drive to a zone and there's like a portal in the distance. But if you go into, it looks cool, you see all the Vex, but if you're doing something else, you can just pass right through it and see the interaction because the units actually fight between themselves. Right? There's dynamism in the world. But if that's too heavy for the servers to be working on all the time, that would be like a technical issue. So you actually have to have some kind of cooldown between the events.
Okay, sure, but like let's say that you run it during the weekend, for example.
Yes.
Like you run the event during the weekend, but while it's running full on. So you know that you have to log in during the weekend to do it.
Yeah.
But no matter when you log in during the time window, you will do it without problem and without waiting.
Yeah.
Those are different things. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mind that it's on a rotation, like a weekly, every weekend, every 2 weekends, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But while it's going on, you cannot have downtime.
Yes.
That's absolutely my point. Like, you cannot time get it while it's happening.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, we want like, or like at least if you're going to do it with like public events, at least have notifications on the map of where it's happening.
Yeah.
So
if you're going to time gate it in a way, like
public events, you already have a system like that.
Just do public events.
Yeah, just do it like public event. You just put a notifications. There is a portal here, and then it disappears. There is a portal here, and then it disappears. So you know where to go. So you don't have to sit and wait in a zone for like forever.
Yeah, which is really boring. Like we sat down like for 10 minutes waiting for these things to appear.
10 to 20 minutes for actually appear
like,
once.
This is
and
engaging gameplay.
Yeah, we fight it once. We fail the win state, and then we have to sit around another 10 minutes for another thing to do. It was like really experience ruin in general.
Yeah,
right.
Because waiting is fun.
Waiting is fun, right?
Yeah.
And for my next point, this is interesting. Like these kind of dynamic events are super interesting to change like the way the way the world they say it in one of the buy docs, which the goal is to make a more dynamic world in Destiny.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I agree with that, and they should have this kind of invasions in all the planets.
Yeah.
Like maybe you should run like weekly invasions during the weekend, like every weekend, planets, and they just change the faction that is invading, and you change the planet that is invading.
Yeah. So
that's all good and fine.
Yeah. The problem is the waiting. Nobody likes to wait. Destiny, stop it.
Yeah, it's the thing is, if you want to do something, it's really a boss killer just to go to a place and like, oh, but now you have to wait 10 minutes for the thing to spawn. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
That kills all the momentum of whatever you're doing. It's
yeah. And
care about this anymore.
Yeah, and like as we said, like Destiny, the moment that Destiny is in the strongest is when you're on all the time. That's when Destiny is in the strongest. So having these off moments is the worst, right?
Yeah, but is this like forced moments? It's not
Yeah.
like players choose to.
To like
Okay,
wait
now
around
we're
and
gonna.
explore, because
Yeah,
that's another thing, right? You can like go to the maps and explore and have a good time, like exploring the locations and find weird secrets
yeah,
and
but
stuff.
as long as it's your decision, it's not the
Yeah,
gaming telling you, okay, there is nothing going on for the next 15 minutes.
yeah.
Good
Wait.
luck.
Ah!
Yeah,
Like, yeah, that's so bad. More that if it's a quest step, like it's wrong, in every way, man. It's wrong in every way.
I agree.
Anyway, all right. So now for the new expansion, settings and locations are really cool. I really like the design of the keeps, the Hellmouth, the moon,
Meh.
all the places to explore. Like, personally speaking, I really like them. They're very spooky. They kind of capture that spooky sense of like all like medieval weird castles when you go explore and find catacombs and like on the groats and in that kind of like surreal underground castles, like the Mines of Moria, and that's kind of feeling like I really like that kind of aesthetic. Very, very interesting and very kind of like Destiny, like with the twist of the red everywhere.
Uh, I guess. I don't know.
I find like I like the game. Like the game is pretty. That's why I think that's my point. In terms
The
of
game is
location,
pretty, I agree,
yeah,
but is not appealing to me. Like the aesthetics of the game are not my thing. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, it looks good on a technical level. Like I'm
yeah,
not gonna deny that.
yeah.
But do I find it interesting? Not really.
It's supposed to be very nostalgic to Destiny 1 players because they had the moon in Destiny 1. So there's like a bunch of like callbacks, the Hellmouth and the Crota, which is the new boss that we didn't fight in Destiny 2. And all the callbacks to like the end, the top of the tippy top of Destiny 1 campaign, which was the Taken King, and
Yeah.
all that sort of nostalgia thing. So the actual like they're selling you nostalgia for like the old players, basically. This is
Okay. Fair enough. That just means that like the whole artistic direction of the game is not appealing to me, and I'm at peace with that. Like
yeah, fair enough.
I don't find how this game looks interesting.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair. I do like how the new location looks. I think it's very cool in terms of architecture and the models and everything they've done. I do find it cool because I like the aesthetics of the environments of Destiny. Right? That's
I
my
don't
position.
dislike. Yeah, I don't dislike them. I'm
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, you're kind of
Yeah.
like no, not inclined in any
It
shape.
is Destiny.
It is Destiny. You know what you expect. I think that's the point of Lucho is
Yeah.
trying to make. You know what to expect.
I mean,
Which is
they could
which is
surprise
not a
me at
bad
some
time.
point.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. Like going to a
It
place and
depends.
knowing to expect. Yeah, it depends on the type of person and what you expect. It's hard. But anyway, I do like the locations and the architecture and everything on this expansion. I think thumbs up. Really good job in that sense. The new, what do you think about the new strikes and the new nightmare hunts and that sort of stuff?
The nightmare hunts were the missions that we did during the quest.
Yes,
That those like mini bosses that have like mini mechanics.
yes.
They were fun.
They're fun, right? Yeah,
Nothing too special. Like yeah.
yeah. I think they'll learn a lot. Like they actually beginning to integrate a lot of these mini mechanics in like more parts of the game. Right?
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. Like a lot of the older strikes and things feel just like run through and kill
Kill
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
shoot. These have more mechanics, which make them more interesting. Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's an improvement. I won't disagree with that.
Yeah, and I really like this because they're actually stepstones for the people who actually wanted to for like think about new players who actually want to experience the end game content of Destiny, the raids. So it's a good stepping stone which Destiny didn't have before,
Fair
because
enough.
there's nothing else. There's nothing like, if you think about the original year one content and Forsaken, there's actually nothing that force you to do some kind of mechanics. They're like just little things, and in Forsaken, right? But in year one, there's nothing that actually forces you to get mechanics, right? The closest thing is like go shoot cubes in the Warmine expansion. No, in the Osiris expansion. That was the closest. But the
Yeah.
rest of the content was a run through, kill ads, kill the bots, you're done, right? And then you have like the raid, which talking about like the first year content, which was Leviathan, which has like a ton of mechanics, right? So for a new player, as I experienced when I tried to do my first raid in Destiny, is super jarring, because you don't have any other place when mechanics exist in the things that you do daily, right? In the things
Yeah,
that you do in the
I get
combat
what
that
you're
you do,
saying. Yeah.
right? So it's very good that they put these stepping stones in terms of like difficulty, in terms of what you have to do at the same time of killing ads, and when you have to think about that there's like environmental puzzles on Destiny all the time, in Destiny 2 all the time, for getting new players accustomed. That when they go and do the raid, they won't expect something different.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's nice that they have like these mechanics. As probably as I said before, like I really like the menagerie
Yeah.
because it's a good balance between having like simple mechanics,
Yes.
like, and just a lot of mobs to kill.
Yes.
So
So
yeah,
it's good. It's good. They're learning, even in the smallest way. Like we find
yeah.
a couple of like lost sectors in this new location that actually has mechanics, and that was like, whoa, this is like makes the lost sector so much more interesting to explore,
Yeah.
right? Because it has mechanics like a
Mhm.
mini. It feels more like a mini dungeon that just like a place when you go and there's enemies spawning,
Yeah,
guaranteed,
before
right?
before the lost sectors felt just like a little cave.
Yeah, little cave with a lot of enemies spawning. And if you need to kill certain
Yeah,
amount of enemies, you find a cave where there's a lot of enemies spawning. Period.
yeah. When they have mechanics, even if they're small ones, they
Yeah,
feel more interesting.
yeah.
Definitely.
They're super simple mechanics. So thumbs up for that. Great job.
Yeah.
They're learning from. They're definitely learning from like Menagerie and that season. In that sense,
Yeah.
so real cool.
Yeah. Like in my opinion, the most interesting activity outside of the raids is probably a menagerie for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
Yeah,
the closer they can get to that kind of encounters,
yeah, the
the
better.
more that I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, and now we're gonna talk about the cool encounter that you like.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
arena encounter with the Vex.
the Vex thing.
So yeah, so this was a cool encounter because it was like kind of menagerie light, menagerie like, but a lot more light, right?
Yeah,
It has like
it's
stages, and then you run through it and do
it has
different
stages.
things.
It has like little mechanics to.
Yeah, you break these crystals, and then you have to find the little things to shoot the boss, and the boss
Yeah,
comes into a
yep.
rotation.
You have the things to deploy the boss shield, and once
Yeah,
that's done, you have a DPS phase
yeah.
that it replenishes, and then you move,
And then you
kill the
move to the
things that
base,
drop the thing that depletes the shields,
and then DPS
rinse and repeat.
phase.
Yeah,
Yeah, so very, very
it's
entertaining.
it's really simple, but it takes you. It's interesting enough that it keeps you engaged, and that's the point. It
Yeah,
cannot be like a super complex thing that you have to like put a lot of effort, but it's just something different enough that it breaks the routine and it keeps you engaged.
yeah. So
That's a good thing. I like that encounter. It's pretty fun.
it's really fun, and I like it a lot too. The location is very cool. The garden, and it was very interesting because it's like, oh, so you don't want to do like this the raid. This sentiment I find it really cool, because it's like you don't want to do. You are not prepared. You're a casual player. You had work on the rest of the week, and you didn't grind enough to do the raid race, which was that same weekend, right?
Yeah.
So we have an event for you. We
Yeah,
was the
that's pretty
Vex
cool.
invasion. And even if you're not in the raid, they actually tell you, oh, if you're not going to the Black Garden, which is the actual raid, then you can help us go into this arena and kill Vex and helping like weaken them, right?
Yeah.
while the other people do the raid race and like get into that hard content and that sort of stuff. You are helping even if you're a casual player. That makes the players feel like the casual player feels more involved in what's happening in the game.
Yeah, I didn't think about it, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I didn't have time to grind for like the light level to even try. So
yeah. So and it's very cool that they release it at the same time, right? That's my point. Like the
yeah,
raid and this event, right?
yeah,
And
agreed.
that's very cool. Attracts a lot of players and give them something to do and make them aware that the raid is happening, right? That there's a race raid, and that's like that works both ways because people's gonna check out what's happening with the teams running the raid while they doing their fun event.
I guess if that's interesting to you.
That's interesting too, like random players, like, oh yeah, there's a raid race or whatever, or like, oh, there's the
Yeah,
new
but-
race, and
But,
like,
but if the red race, if the red race only takes a day, it's not interesting.
oh my god, Jesus! Do you send me that video? I was like, what is wrong with humanity?
Oh yeah, that's
1
that's
week
from
long,
one of
Jesus.
for one of the Battle of Azeroth raids in WoW. It was a
Jesus,
12-day raid.
Christ.
It was a 12-day like race for
Yeah.
the raid.
So, like, if people is
That's
casual,
a real thing.
It's I find that it's interesting because if people is casual and wants to do the raid at some point, they will go and check out the streams and see how the
Oh, yeah.
mechanics are and that sort of stuff. That's what I'm
Fair.
referring to, right? They actually like what they are accomplishing is they actually interesting the casual player base to do high level content, which in the past that never happened in Destiny 2, right? I was never interested in doing a raid in Destiny 2 because I never saw it as something that I, as a casual Destiny 2 player, quotation marks, could do without doing like a bunch of like extra lab work, right? That's the feeling that they're trying to change in the player base through all the changes that we mentioned before, through like the mini mechanics,
fair enough.
yeah.
I'm still not that interested. Like, if I have to be honest, like,
Yeah.
if for whatever reason you guys want to do a raid and I'm around,
Yeah.
I'll definitely go and like
Right,
learn
cool.
the mechanics and do the thing.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't look on my own for a raiding group
Fair enough.
for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Which, and I think we talked about this yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
that for me speaks miles of the game. Because for other games, I would do it. Like,
Yeah, you see.
I did it for WoW. Like, I look for just random group of people to raid with.
I tried to do it for Division 2.
I did it for the Division 2. It worked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I was that interested in doing it that I was willing to go out of my way, go to a Discord server, look for the people, talk to them,
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
For Destiny 2, I don't know why, but I don't feel that need. Like, I will do it if you guys are around. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah.
And that for me means that there is something missing in the game.
Fair.
I don't know exactly what, but there is something there that is kind of okay.
I've confused feelings about this. I'll tell the audience my confused feelings about it. I like Destiny 2 lore, right? That I like. And I would like to do, I don't feel inclined to do a raid by myself, but I would like to do a raid to experience the lore inside the raid, right? To experience because they give you a kind of tidbits of lore. But on top of that, I do like this concept of like communal achievement when you get to a group with a group of dudes and do something, right?
Yep.
But in Destiny 2, I don't feel inclined to do it without my friends, right? With a group that I feel comfortable with because I see that Destiny 2, like I'm a raid noob. Like I haven't done that many raids in my life, right? I've done like in Destiny, I've done 2 raids, and then in Division, I've done half of a raid.
Shame on you. Shame.
and that time we have a really good time doing it, right?
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
remember that we encountered once a group of people with one
yeah,
guy was super funny.
yeah.
We didn't finish it. Like
Yeah.
we reached
We
3
reached
out
the
of the 4
final encounter.
bosses,
Yeah, we reached the
but we're
final
having a
encounter.
blast. Like it
Yeah, we
was
having like
so much fun.
so much fun. It was like super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like that communal feeling of like, yeah, like, and I actually like from time to time, like on the Division 2 Discord server,
Yeah.
you tend to see the same people raiding
Very.
at the same time, the
Yeah,
same
yeah, yeah,
days.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So when I was doing it, I will always do it with like kind of with the same group of people, almost.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that I find cool, and I don't know. I don't know why I don't feel motivated to do Destiny 2.
Yeah.
I cannot answer why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. So, and that's my feeling. Like, yeah, if I find and the thing is like, is the nature of what I found what the raid are for. Like, and I'm gonna explain this very nebulous of what raids are for me, right? And is they require you to if they're a new experience, they require you to have patience, right? Because you have to figure out stuff, because you have to like look for stuff, because you have to coordinate, because you have a lot of humans trying to do one thing, and that means a lot of errors are going to happen all the time, right?
Yep.
So you have to be a very patient people to do raids, right? So if you go with and the problem is like you go with random groups, and then there's some people who knows how to do the raid really quickly, really efficient, and that's kind of people's can like create some course against like
that creates some toxic environment.
exactly,
Yep.
and like and it makes it not enjoyable, right? That's my problem with like the race, especially when you are new doing the raid, and
Completely agree.
sometimes already pass, and you have randos, and like 2 or 3 of those randos have done the raid like 700 times, and this is your first time, and they don't have the patience. If you have like a lot of people who are new, and then you have 2 people who are super efficient, is worse because they don't have the patience anymore, and they have their like raid group which they're super efficient about it, blah, blah, blah. And I understand all that, right?
Yeah.
But I wanna experience, like, my curiosity is this, right? I wanna experience the old raids of Destiny, because because of the lore, because that's my reason to go into the raid Destiny, because they have very interesting, cool lore, and I like Destiny 2 lore. You don't like Destiny 2 lore that much, so you don't have a real reason to do it besides the experience of raiding, right? Which is what you like, right, Lucho?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, yeah.
Yeah, I like the communal aspect of doing it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and like for me, and like I find it really like hard, not for me, because I don't mind sitting there and like learning the mechanics and getting better and blah blah blah. I don't mind that, right? And how much it will take. But the people who are doing it a lot of times, I started to mind that, and it creates some kind of course. So I want to like experience. I would like to experience the old Destiny raids with people who haven't experienced that much of Destiny raids, or people who actually have patience and know what they get into. So if you go into a random group
with our friends, like, that they know that we haven't done it. And
exactly. That's my point.
they can just walk us through.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
So that's my conflict with the raid. Like, and I think I have this small window to do it with the people, the people of the clan, when they're going to be patient with new players, because very few people have done this new raid.
You know that Destiny 2 has this how is it called? Like all the raids I think have this it's a mode where you
the
can
companion
select,
mode?
Yeah.
I see this.
But I have heard that the waiting times
ginormous.
are super long because no one is helping, basically.
Yes, basically.
So I'll feel like that will alleviate what you're saying.
Yep.
It just Bungie probably needs to give more incentives for people to
to do
run as
this.
the guides.
Yes, they need to either give them a bunch of like
Yeah, drops. Just
rewards,
give them shit.
yeah, or like make them important in the community or something like that. Like, and I think and when I see this system, yeah, absolutely alleviate my problem. But when I see the system, the only like closer examples that I have for somebody who did this was Warframe, right? When Warframe was starting, there was a bunch of problems with new players coming in,
Yeah.
right? And there is a bunch of the community who started doing content to ease new players into the game, right? What
Yeah,
the
that's
the reaction of the Warframe team was super good. That they endorsed them straight away. They gave them a lot of support straight away, and they become like these beacons of the community, like importance for the actual community. That's some sort of reward in that if you want to incentivize that kind of like communal
yeah.
spaces for helping, right?
Also, I mean, to be fair, Warframe, like nowadays, the Warframe community is helpful because it's kind of a thing now that Warframe's a really hard game to get into.
Yeah.
And people who are into a game are just willing to help others because we do know that the game is hard to get.
Yes. But
So
it
we
has some
just
feelings.
help out of the love of helping.
Yes, of course.
No, it's because like if you reach a point where you're in the position to just give shit to our players or help them or teach them, you have to spend a bunch of time in the game.
Yes.
And you want the game to succeed.
Yes, absolutely.
And help, like getting new players is super important for one of these games to live a long life. I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why the community of Warframe is so helpful. And you see, like when a new streamer gets into a game, like people will give them shit, will just help them throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just, I guess that came out of necessity because Warframe grew out of the community.
Yes.
While Destiny had just a different process. It's a different game that came to existence in a different manner.
Yeah, but they have to reach that point where the community wants to help, right?
They do.
Because I've seen it in the streamers. The streamers tends to do it a lot, tend to like, oh, I'm gonna help people to do this raid, right? And they go to different groups and they help them to go through the raid. That is something
that common?
Yeah, that is something they do when the raid, in the weeks after the raid is released.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes they have special events when they go and do all the raids.
Yeah.
Right? But that's it, right? But you need to all the community to do this, to help, to what we talk about Warframe, to help new players in these super difficult points, right? You need to give them like some sort of incentive to the community besides the love of the game, because that's another level to achieve.
No, but it's no, but like for example, like I'm gonna give you an example in Warframe. For the Nightwave with the season pass, the battle pass thing. There's been a couple of weeks where one of the most hardest bounties or things to do, challenges to do, is to kill the 3 Eidolons.
Yeah.
And I always go and do it on a public group. Well, I will for sure find people like super unequipped for that. Like,
okay.
You see a random Excalibur.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Master rank 5. Which, I mean, it's not like a master rank doesn't mean anything. But if you see an Excalibur for a Tridolon
not even
5,
with their operator ready.
maybe no, with the operator ready, but like Excalibur is not the best frame to do it.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So usually the people who have experience running Tridolons, like they know they take a Trinity, they take a Ball, they take a Chroma.
Oh, Oberon, yeah.
Or whatever. But you see a random Titania. You know?
Titania. You're like
so and and when I get there, I ask them like, hey, have you guys done this before? And some may say no, some may say yeah, but just 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
I tell them, okay, let's do it this way, and
yeah.
I help, like I try to carry a group.
Yeah.
And I don't do it because I get anything out of that. Like, yeah, sure, I'm doing it for the challenge because I have to do it, but I only would run it like if I have the time.
Yes.
More times that I need to.
Yeah.
just to find people that I can help to.
Cool.
Like,
yeah.
but that's the kind of thing. Like, yeah, I cannot compare it to a raid because, of course, it's not that long. Like,
Yeah.
this is a thing that takes like 20 minutes to.
Yeah.
But,
But
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the feeling that you have to
That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the feeling that you have to instill in your community for that to be like more commonplace, right?
Yeah.
And with all the raids in Destiny and that sort of stuff, and like to be and
Yeah,
like people
but,
and like people to know where to go to, like for example, if there's like
Oh,
this
yeah.
person who runs this raid certain amount of time, just feature them, right? Just this guy like helps raiders, blah blah
Sure.
blah.
Yeah.
Go and post in their blah if they wanna. If you're looking for a raid group that is doing this particular raid this day, blah blah blah, or this is the amount of raiders which are willing to help, something like that, right? Some sort of like recognition.
I can see what you mean. But you
Right?
know, that problem that you're describing with the Destiny 2 raids, I feel like it happens in all the raids. Like,
Fair enough.
in every game that has raids. Because the Division 2 has kind of the same problem. Like,
Yeah, I remember this.
like you'll find people saying like, "Oh, I want to speedrun the raid," and only people who have done it 1,000 of times
yeah.
and they know what to do and all of the shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like we'll verify the badges that you get because if you do some of the challenges, you get
Yeah.
badges.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like, dude,
Jesus.
sure, but chill out. Like,
I understand
And-
that. I can understand that. I like to do efficient stuff, so I was like, all right.
yeah, me too. But
Yeah.
dude, relax.
Yeah.
Like, I like, come on. Like, if you have a couple of like, for sure, if no one has done it, it's gonna
Yeah.
take a lot of time.
Absolutely.
But
yes,
if you
yes.
have in the group of 8, like 2 or 3 people who have never done it,
It's not that bad.
it's not that bad. You can teach them. Yeah, it's not gonna be super fast. It's gonna take each boss a couple of attempts
Yeah.
while they learn the mechanics.
Yeah.
But if you explain it to 2 or 3 people,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fine. The encounters are hard, but they're not that hard. Like, once you figure out the mechanics, you can do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I feel like that's the biggest challenge for all the raiding, and that happened in WoW to me as well. Like, it was the couple of raids that I did was maybe 2 or 3 guys out of the 20 that didn't know all the mechanics,
Yeah.
and they were teaching the rest of us what to do. It was like they were
Cool.
patient. It was like it took a bunch of attempts because there were
Yeah.
not a lot of noobs like me,
Yeah.
but we did it. Like, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what you're saying is true. Like, Bungie should encourage people to get into that companion thing as guides.
Yeah. All the
to
time.
just
Yeah.
Give them more loot or whatever. I don't
Like
know.
especially if you're like try to solo raid, to always get into that system.
You know what would be cool? Like, they could give them special ornaments or stuff like that.
Yeah,
that they
special
can-
ornament. Yeah, special ornament, special badges or whatever they like.
Yeah.
To show or like a small name as guides, right? Like that's sort of like
something that you
super
can
easy.
show off.
Yeah, exactly. It's something you can show off. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I did, and like Destiny tend to do like these ridiculous numbers. Oh yeah, I did 100 guided games and I finished them all. Then you got like the title of like super victorious or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think ornaments would be really cool for like
Ornaments too.
weapons.
Yeah. But like a lot of Destiny players chase those titles like Dredgen and
Oh, titles.
Yeah.
If people do care about that,
yeah. There you go. So super victorious or whatever title you get from doing 100
yeah,
guided
super
games.
badass.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that'll be super cool to incentivize.
Yeah.
More players to get it already. Maybe I am the problem and I have problems rating. I don't know. Like
No,
I feel like especially if you're gonna do the new raid, I will love, and if you're gonna spend that much time doing it, right? Like this last raid, there's some groups who spend like around like 12 to 13 hours doing it, to 14 hours doing it. I think for me it's important for me to do it with like cool people which are not losing their patience, which you can like joke around,
Yeah.
like that raid group that we found last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
Love the Division
But that's what I mean. Especially if you're gonna do a new raid when you have to figure out everything, when there's no guides or everything. I would love to do it like with a group of people, which you know that they're gonna be cool about it, even if you messed out and that sort of stuff, and have the patience to go through all the grind, right?
Yeah, that would be super cool. I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't know if our friends are gonna have patience.
Who knows
with us?
Yeah.
And I don't have the time usually to grind, like in raid preparation.
Yeah, I think at some point, if we get more of the free players that we're gonna get, I think we're probably gonna like try to do the old raids so they can. Like,
that'll be super cool.
Yeah, Leviathan, and Leviathan has like a ton of mechanics. Like, I was seeing the guide, and it's like it's not a raid that you can speedrun to the point that they make a small version of it, which is either words, which is a small version of the raid, because the raid, no matter how fast you do it, it actually takes you like 3 to 4 hours, even if you know everything exactly.
Okay, that's expected, I guess.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, and is this a very short campaign with the quota of maybe still some more missions to be released?
It felt really short.
It felt really short. It felt really interesting. Like for me, I wanted more. Right?
I agree. I actually agree with you. Yeah. It just felt that it was like 2 missions and we were done.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't like
I'm
that.
Not saying, I'm not saying there were only 2 missions. Literally. I'm saying it felt like we did 2 missions and it was over.
Yeah. But like...
Even for Destiny standard.
Yeah, even for Destiny standard, it was like too short. And for me, I wanted more. Like, it was interesting with the concepts that were presented. It was interesting, the story they were like kind of doing, and then it suddenly stopped. And then I asked a friend, which is a long-term like Destiny player, that told me that it's generally the way it works. Apparently, in the expansions after the release of the game, apparently you get like small, and then you through the weeks, through the happenings of the weeks, you're gonna get all this story complete. And then after the raid, apparently the raid has to do with the artifact that we find at the end, and then the other part that is the Vex invasion, because apparently that has to do with what we did in Shadowkeep, and that has to do with the pyramid. Sorry, spoilers maybe. So apparently we haven't seen the complete picture, and maybe that's why we felt it too short. Right?
Maybe, but it felt short.
But it felt short as a first impression. It felt like really, really short. And the challenge problem of log time games, right?
Yeah.
So right now they're putting a bunch of different difficulty. You saw it with the shielded enemies and the overload enemies. Try to like change the difficulties, adjust the difficulty of the challenges, and then on top of that, putting like some, and that's gonna be put through the strikes, like when you have to take certain caution with certain type of enemies, unstoppable enemies and shielded enemies. And that's gonna ump the challenge problem, right?
Yep.
So, but I think we're gonna leave it for like a more expansive about the challenge problem into games, right?
This whole discussion of difficulty and long-term progress and
and like it's
end game quote unquote stuff.
End game, it's the discussion of end game,
discussion,
which we were trying to do. So I think we're gonna leave it for a future podcast trilogy. And we're gonna discuss all this end game stuff.
I'm actually interested in just discussing how different games do quote unquote end game, and
what challenge
what really means to have end game, and can all the games have end game?
And how can you keep your veterans and new players alike into
balance all of that?
It's like super complex topic. So that's a small tease for the future. We're gonna have here discussing.
Yeah.
We're really interested in
doing
that trilogy. That conversation is gonna be like really, really difficult to tackle, because there's a bunch of different factors that and styles of challenge,
and there are different approaches throughout the industry, like
so maybe we can like get some insight or some like illuminated points on doing that.
That's a huge that's a huge problem. It's one with the Warframe community is dealing right now with
with the challenge part of the game. But I
Yeah,
think
that's a thing.
I think for Destiny, I think they are kind of the correct path in terms of challenge. Not only mechanical challenge peppered throughout the world, so their the rates are more mechanically demanding because you already have a player base which is used to certain kind of mechanics, but like
Yeah,
varying the type of encounter. So generally, how challenge in Destiny all times work is like you have enemies with different element shields, right?
yeah.
Right, which you have to solve, right? And now they are adding um, mechanics of overload enemies, which you have to stop and shoot with a certain type of weapon, which is kind of like an element, but it's eating into your mod, so your weapon gets weaker because you're using that thing to stop them, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared for what kind of elements are you gonna be, because the difference between a shielded element dude and normal and a new like overlord or shielded enemy is that they regenerate the health when they activate their mechanic if you
Oh,
don't
I
stop
see.
them,
Yeah.
right? In the old ones they just like lose health and they regen the shield, but they're
Yeah,
still
but
low on health.
the health keeps low. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the new mechanic in terms of challenging. Then we have they redo the difficulties of the strikes. If you've seen, you have like adept, challenge, and heroic, which is the new one that we're gonna have next week.
Oh,
Which,
nice.
yeah, what they're gonna do is they're gonna put more of that style type of enemies into the raids, the shielded and the overload enemies into the raid, like level them up. On top, like for example, they're saying that the heroics strikes are gonna be like 970, between 970 and 980 level enemies when the hard cap is 960,
Okay.
right?
Nice.
Yeah, and have like a lot of variety. So you have to actually, they're like, it's very interesting because they're reusing the strikes as a high level content, because now you have to prepare like, oh, I know in this room this is gonna be like the overlord enemies, and you have to target this enemy which is in top. So just make the content more interesting to experience, even if it's
Yeah,
old content.
that's fine. Like,
Yeah,
I'm okay with them just expanding and recycling all their content.
yeah,
That's
because before the strikes were
good.
just like go run through the strike, kill everything, done.
No,
And now you have to, like, if you're gonna do like the high level content of the strikes, and you have to actually prepare and blah blah
you
blah.
have to be prepared. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I like that.
and that's the way they're upping the challenge of Destiny on top of their what they already have on the rates.
Yeah, I like that. Like requiring your players to be prepared for the content is a valid option in my
Be
mind. 'Cause,
prepared.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's perfectly fine just requiring your players to have reached certain things and have certain
knowledge and preparation and
knowledge and
coordination,
stuff.
and yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine. That's all fine and good.
yeah,
I think it's of course gonna be easy once you reach that point, but again, is the journey.
yeah.
Like,
The journey, which is the interesting part.
yeah.
All right, and that's the end of a deep dive. Overall, Shadowkeep gets 8 out of 10 bananas.
Uh, Disappointment out of 10. Still no good out of 10.
Still not good out of 10. Still not quite there out of 10. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
found that rating stuff is kind of silly because it's very personal.
of course it
What
is.
experience you have with the game. So it's like that's why it's 8 out of 10 bananas. What does
Yeah.
that mean? You don't know.
Still disappointing out of 10.
Still not
That's
quite there,
my
but in the correct path out of 10.
yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And we move on to our audience questions and feedback. Today we have some very special feedback. Tell us about it, Lucho.
Yeah, we have some feedback from a good friend of mine from high school. We keep in contact all the time.
Through our Gregorian letters, apparently.
Through emails. It's fine.
Okay.
It's modern.
So what feedback do we have?
So he suggested us first to begin the news section with a small teaser or like debriefing at the beginning, which is what we did today.
Yeah, today I hope you
So,
noticed.
yeah, hopefully. And it makes sense just if people are interested or not in the news of the week.
Yep. Yeah.
And their thing, it's kind of a hard thing to do for us right now, and is trying to time tag the beginning of the main topic of the week.
The deep dive, yeah. Beginning of the deep dive.
And I mean, the podcast comes on YouTube and on a bunch of like podcast platforms.
Yeah.
And for YouTube, it's kind of easy to just put the tag and
the timestamps. It's super easy.
The
to put
timestamps.
Yeah.
The problem is that for the other distribution, like audio only distribution sites, we have to explore what options do we have, because we don't know how they work, and the way that we do it is that we use one site.
Yep.
We upload there, and that site distributes to all the other places. So I don't know how the tagging is handled.
Yeah, we don't know if
we have to explore.
Yeah, we don't know if we put like the timestamps in this one place, we'll export it to all the others, because there's places which don't have timestamps.
Which don't have.
As Spotify, right? We were talking about
Spotify doesn't have
any time tag. So we will try to do it. Like we will seek to it through the internet, and we will research to see if we can do it like in a way that we can. That is not such a hassle to do it.
Because we don't. I mean, to be honest, we don't keep that close of an eye, on the time that we spent on the news.
Yeah.
So we could also try that and see how it goes.
We do it.
There are solutions we have to explore this week.
Yeah, we're gonna explore, but thanks a lot, Sergio.
Yeah,
Sergio,
and it does make a lot of sense if someone is not interested in the news and wants to just
especially because we like actually pick up like a bunch of random news that only interest us. We only find interesting.
We find interesting, yeah.
Exactly for
which
that
is
point,
a completely fair complaint. Yeah,
absolutely. Like I find it absolutely has all the sense, because we pick up like random news of the week. we all particular interest in. So if you're not have all particular interest in, it's clear that maybe it's not very interesting. But we hope you like all the content that we do. We're nice, even if we talk about random stuff.
We put effort into this content.
Yeah.
So we'll explore how to time tag the beginning of the main topic of the week, of the deep dive.
For sure. Thanks a lot about the feedback. Remember, you can put questions, send us email, Twitter, snail mail, Twitch. Go to my stream. I don't know, in the future, Instagram, go to Discord that I have. I don't know, send pigeons. Anything you can get us your questions about. We take the questions about the past podcast, we take the feedback, and we read it here and give you our honest answers about everything that we have here. So yeah, I think that's it.
That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in into The Sweaty and the Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Luis G. Polanco.
And I am the Long Name Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at the Long Name Gamer, and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LongNameGamerTV, where I stream Mondays to Fridays, the majority of games that we play. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, give us a kiss. To The Sweaty Farmer and the Game Design. I love you all. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know celery was used as an ancient bouquet of flowers to reward winners of athletic games in ancient Greece? What kind of prize is that? Not even like celery.
And ancient Romans used celery as an aphrodisiac, which I guess is interesting. And there's as well a celery museum in Michigan called the Celery Flats Interpretive Center. Wow, that's a weird name.
Oh my god, Lucho went robotic. Ancient Romans used to celery as a phrase, guys. If you don't understand that, there's celery museums in Portland, Michigan called the Celery Flats Center. Apparently, yeah, Discord just died. So yeah, that happened. Talk to me, robot. You can do it. Oh my god, he's back. Are you back?
I'm back.
Oh my god, he's back. All right, celery. Cool. All right, bye.
Sorry, bye.